Right now, at this very moment, you are not alone. Not in the way a motivational speaker means it. Not in the comforting sense. I mean physically. Inside your body. Living, eating, reproducing, dying, right now, there are more living creatures inside you than there are humans on planet Earth. For decades, the number everyone repeated was 10 to 1, 10 bacterial cells for every single human cell in your body. It appeared in textbooks. Respected scientists said it on camera. Journalists printed it in newspapers and magazines. 10 to 1. It became one of the most repeated facts in all of biology. And it was wrong. In 2016, a team of researchers at the Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel decided to actually sit down and count. Ron Sender, Shai Futch, and Ron Milo published a landmark study in the journal Cell titled Revised Estimates for the Number of Human and Bacteria Cells in the Body. Their conclusion: the real ratio is not 10 to 1. It is roughly 1 to 1. About 30 trillion human cells, about 38 trillion bacterial cells. Your body is not overwhelmingly bacterial. It is roughly half bacterial, half you. But here is where it gets strange. That roughly equal number means you are carrying around 38 trillion living organisms right now. Let me say that again. 38 trillion. That is more than 4 times the number of stars in the Milky Way galaxy, not somewhere distant, not in a laboratory, inside you, on your skin, in your mouth, wrapped around your teeth, deep in your gut. Right now, living their lives while you live yours. And they are not just sitting there quietly. Let's start with your gut. Your large intestine alone contains more bacteria than there are people in every city, country, and continent on Earth combined. These bacteria, collectively called your gut microbiome, do things your own cells simply cannot do. They break down fiber that your body has no enzymes to handle. They manufacture vitamins, including vitamin K and several B vitamins, that your cells desperately need. They produce chemicals that regulate inflammation throughout your entire body. And perhaps most remarkably, they communicate directly with your brain. Scientists call it the gut-brain axis. It is a biochemical highway running from your intestines straight to your head. Your gut contains over 500 million neurons, more than your entire spinal cord. These neurons are constantly sending signals upward through the vagus nerve, a thick cable of neural tissue that connects your gut directly to your brain stem. Your gut is not just a digestive tube. It is a second brain, and it has opinions. In 2014, a research team at the California Institute of Technology led by Sarkis Mazmanian discovered that certain gut bacteria produce a chemical called 4-ethylphenyl sulfate, which directly influences brain chemistry. Not vaguely, not indirectly. The bacteria in your gut generate molecules that cross the blood-brain barrier and change how your neurons behave. Your mood, your focus, your anxiety levels. All of it is being shaped, right now, by organisms that share your body but are not your own cells. Think about that for a moment. You are a host, a walking ecosystem. The you that you think of as yourself, your thoughts, your memories, your personality, is sharing space with 38 trillion other organisms, and many of them are actively influencing how you think and feel. The Human Microbiome Project, launched by the National Institutes of Health in 2007, was one of the largest scientific efforts ever attempted to catalog what lives inside and on us. Over 5 years, researchers at Washington University in St. Louis, Baylor College of Medicine, and dozens of other institutions sampled bacteria from the skin, mouth, nose, gut, and other body sites of nearly 250 healthy adults. What they found was staggering. More than 10,000 different species of bacteria call the human body home. Each person carrying a unique combination, like a fingerprint, except it is alive, and it covers every surface of you. Your skin alone harbors roughly 1 trillion bacteria, but not all skin is created equal. Your forearm and your back are bacterial deserts compared to the tropical rainforest that is your belly button. In 2012, a citizen science project at North Carolina State University, led by microbiologist Rob Knight, found that the average human belly button contains over 2,300 species of bacteria. Some of these species had never been documented anywhere else on Earth. Not in soil, not in water, not in any other animal, only in human belly buttons. Living there quietly, right now. Your mouth is another universe entirely. More than 700 species of bacteria live in the human mouth. Right now, as you are hearing this, there are more bacteria in your mouth than there are people living in Europe. Some of them are helpful. They break down food particles, protect your gums, maintain the chemical balance that keeps harmful microbes in check. Others cause cavities, gum disease, chronic bad breath. They are all fighting for territory. Every second of every day, a microscopic war is being waged inside your mouth, and the outcome determines whether your teeth survive another year. But the gut is where the real power lies. And what scientists have discovered there in the last 2 decades has rewritten our understanding of health itself. In the early 2000s, Jeffrey Gordon at Washington University in St. Louis, widely known as the father of microbiome research, began running experiments that shocked the medical establishment. He took gut bacteria from obese mice and transferred them into thin, germ-free mice that had been raised in completely sterile environments. The thin mice gained weight, not because they ate more, not because they exercised less. Because the bacteria they received programmed their bodies to extract more energy from food and store it as fat. The microbiome was controlling the host's metabolism. This was not a one-time result. Gordon's lab repeated it. Other labs around the world replicated similar findings. The bacteria in your gut do not just help you digest food. They determine how much energy your body pulls from each meal. They shape your immune system, roughly 70% of which, it turns out, lives in your gut. They influence inflammation, which is now linked to heart disease, arthritis, and Alzheimer's disease. And a growing body of research suggests they play a direct role in depression and anxiety through that gut-brain highway. Here is a fact that sounds impossible, but has been demonstrated in controlled laboratory studies. If you take the gut bacteria from a brave, adventurous mouse and transplant them into a timid, cautious mouse, the timid mouse becomes bolder. The personality changes. Not because anything in the mouse's brain was surgically altered, because the new bacteria produced different chemicals that traveled up the vagus nerve and rewired the mouse's response to risk. Your bacteria are not just passengers. They are co-pilots. Rob Knight, the scientist who mapped the belly button's hidden ecosystem, went on to co-found the American Gut Project, one of the largest crowdsourced microbiome studies in history. By 2018, over 10,000 participants had submitted samples from across the United States and beyond. The findings were striking and consistent. People who ate more than 30 different types of plants per week had significantly more diverse gut microbiomes than those who ate 10 or fewer. And diversity is the key. The more diverse your microbiome, the more resilient your body becomes. The better your immune system performs, the lower your risk of chronic disease. But diversity works in both directions. When you take a course of broad-spectrum antibiotics, you are not just killing the infection you want to destroy. You are carpet-bombing your entire gut ecosystem. Studies have shown that after a single course of antibiotics, it can take your microbiome months to recover. Some species may never return. This is why doctors now warn against overusing antibiotics, not just because of antibiotic resistance, but because of the lasting damage done to the trillions of organisms that keep you functioning. In extreme cases, when the gut microbiome is devastated by repeated antibiotic use, a dangerous bacterium called Clostridioides difficile can seize the opportunity and take over, causing severe and sometimes fatal intestinal disease. The treatment that has proven most effective is extraordinary. Doctors transplant fecal matter from a healthy donor into the patient's gut. It sounds medieval. It sounds like something from a distant century, but it works. A landmark 2013 study published in the New England Journal of Medicine by Els van Nood and colleagues showed that fecal microbiota transplantation cured nearly 90% of recurrent C. difficile infections. The healthy bacteria simply outcompete the dangerous ones. They recolonize the gut. They restore the balance that was lost. Here is what all of this means for you, right now, in your actual life. You are not born with most of these bacteria. A newborn baby's gut is nearly sterile. Within the first hours of life, microbes begin to arrive, through the birth canal during delivery, through skin-to-skin contact with the mother, through breast milk, which contains special sugars called oligosaccharides that human babies cannot digest at all. They exist solely to feed the bacteria that are supposed to colonize the infant's gut. Breast milk is not just food for the baby. It is food for the baby's bacteria. Your body evolved to farm its own microbiome from day one. By age 3, your microbiome is essentially set, a living community shaped by how you were born, what you ate as a child, what antibiotics you took, what environment you grew up in. By adulthood, your microbiome is as unique as your fingerprint, and it changes very little on its own unless you change it deliberately. The food you eat, the sleep you get, the stress you carry, the antibiotics you take. Every one of these decisions is a vote for or against the 38 trillion organisms that live inside you. So who are you really? Are you the 30 trillion human cells you inherited from your parents? Or are you also the 38 trillion bacteria that break down your food, manufacture your vitamins, regulate your immune system, and whisper to your brain through a nerve highway you have never consciously controlled? The answer is both. You are not a single organism. You have never been a single organism. You are a superorganism, a collaboration. Two kingdoms of life sharing one body, each incomplete without the other. And here is the closing thought that changes everything. You started this video thinking of yourself as one person, one mind, one body, but you have never been just one. From the moment you were born, you started collecting an invisible civilization inside yourself. A civilization that digests your meals, fights your infections, manufactures your vitamins, influences your thoughts, and may even shape who you are. You were never just you. You were always us. And the 38 trillion living inside you have been quietly running the show the entire time.